All right, what is up, everyone? So the Flyers, they pick up a 3-0 win over the Pittsburgh Penguins in a game where they were excellent tonight. They played phenomenal. So going into this one, there was a thing with Michael Raffl. He was day-to-day. He did not play tonight. So the lines were a little bit different. The Flyers, they had to switch up their lines a little bit. So the first line was Van Riemsdyk, Giroux, Konechny. Your second line was Farabee, Giroux, Farabee, Couturier, and Voracek, and then the third line was Lawton, Hayes, Aube-Kubel. Fourth line was Rubtsov, Bunnaman, and Pitlick. So the Flyers, they had a little bit of a different lineup there. I was expecting, I thought Pitlick was going to be on that line with Couturier and Voracek, but instead they put Farabee up, and I thought Farabee played really good on that line. He had a lot of good chances. He generated some pretty good offense with the two. He had some pretty good chemistry. He did have a breakaway in the first period. He completely rifled it over the net. But early on in the period, the Flyers played very well. And in last night's podcast, when we talked with Shawnee Hill, I said three things that the Flyers had to do. One, they had to win the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game, and they did that. Special teams had to be a key factor, and they definitely helped out the Flyers tonight, as both teams were 0 for 3 on the power play. The Flyers had an excellent penalty kill. And the Flyers had to be very quick of moving the puck out of their own zone and not having turnovers at their own blue line, and they did that. So early on, they did exactly that. They were moving the puck well. They had speed through the neutral zone and the offensive zone. They generated some chances. But after the first period, the shots were 12-8 Flyers, and as I said, they were getting some pretty high-quality scoring chances. They had a breakaway, a couple 2-on-1s, but nothing was towards the middle of the ice. Everything was outside of the perimeter, and that's how it's been for majority of the past couple games. They haven't really been able to get anything through the middle of the ice. They've been scoring goals. It's just nothing early on in the game has come in the middle of the ice. It's been more towards the later stages into the second period and the third. So after the first period, it is nothing still. We're scoreless. And a few minutes into the second period, Jake Voracek gets the Flyers on the board on a great play. As Provorov, he goes in and he pinches on the wall here. And when Provorov pinches, Voracek has the presence of mind to get back in the neutral zone, come back, he breaks up the play. If Voracek isn't there and he's a forward playing deep in the zone here, it's like a 2-on-1, 3-on-1 for the Penguins going the other way. Who knows what happens there? So Voracek, he breaks it up, fires it over to Niskanen, and Niskanen up to Couturier. Voracek goes flying through the neutral zone right to the net. He gets by the Penguin defender, cuts in, scores backhand on Jarry 5-hole, and that made it 1-0 Flyers. There's a great play there from Voracek. And since November 23rd, Voracek has 25 points in 28 games. He's got 6 goals, 19 assists, and he's a plus 14. So he's been playing really good lately since he's been. Basically, a lot of people have been harping on him really the whole year, but he's been having a pretty quiet season, in my opinion. I think he's been playing really well since he's been called out by Alain Vigneault and things like that. With a couple minutes left in the second period, James Van Riemsdyk made it 2-0 Flyers on a really nice play from Konechny, a little 2-on-1 they had on the saucer pass. Konechny got it over. Van Riemsdyk tipped it in, 5-hole on Jarry. That made it 2-0, and the Flyers went into the intermission with a 2-0 lead in a period where I thought they played, they still played good. They had a lot of chances. The penalty kill was excellent in this period. They had penalty in both periods, so the Penguins started a power play. They started out with a power play in the second and the third, and the Flyers killed both of them off. As I said, both teams were 0 for 3 on the power play. And late in the first period, Kevin Hayes basically single-handedly killed off like maybe 25, 30 seconds of a penalty, and they were very good on the penalty kill. Not just Hayes, but the whole unit, Provorov, Niskanen, Lawton, and the other guys that play on the penalty kill as well. But they were phenomenal tonight, and I think that was one of the big reasons why the Flyers were able to pick up a win, because their penalty kill was just amazing, and they've really shut down everything. And it wasn't even just the penalty kill. The Flyers shut down everything in the zone. Couturier, Provorov, Niskanen, Giroux, all them guys that are on guys like Crosby, Malk, and Letang. The Crosby was just shut down tonight. That's what the Flyers did. They absolutely shut Crosby down. He couldn't do anything. So the Penguins, in the third period, they hit the post. And this was one of them things where it was like a shot from the point. Looked like Elliott kind of lost track of it. It hits the post clean and outright, and it kind of sits there in the blue paint. And I think it was just one of them things where it was just getting into Crosby's head, because he started whacking at it real quick, and he hit his backhand, went back out. It's one of them things where it's like, it's right there. And many people who have played hockey, they understand what I'm talking about, where it just gets into your head like, oh, it's right there, and you're just thinking about it, and then you just flat out miss it. And it was just one of them things where the Flyers were excellent tonight in covering guys like, as I said, Malkin, Crosby, Letang. Brian Elliott, even though he only faced 19 shots, he was pretty good. He made some pretty solid saves. throughout the game. There wasn't really many times where he was left out to dry. I thought the Flyers were very good defensively throughout the whole game. But when Elliott was called upon, he was there and he made some pretty big saves as well. So, stats for the game, as I said, both teams over 3 on special teams. Pittsburgh, they were 52% on the faceoffs, Flyers were 48. That's another game where the Flyers lost in faceoffs. And at one point, the faceoffs in the first period were like 10-5 in favor of Pittsburgh. So I thought the Flyers played good. It's weird because the Flyers are like number 1 in faceoffs. So it's been kind of a weird of a stretch to see that. They've been kind of trying to add some more depth and some balance into their lineup at center as they put Giroux at center as well. Still have Couturier, Hayes, and then Bunneman. So they've been trying to do that as well with guys injured. Blocks, Pittsburgh was in favor 13-11. Flyers were in favor of giveaways 10-7. Ice time, Provorov, he led the Flyers with 23 minutes and 47 seconds. Niskanen, his partner, he had 20 minutes, 53 seconds. Couturier on offense had 19:10. Voracek had 19:08. That was Hayes with 19:10. And Jake with 19:08. And then Rubtsov, he played 4 minutes and 27 seconds tonight. He was on the fourth line, so there wasn't really much from Rubtsov. He played under 5 minutes. I didn't really expect much from Rubtsov. I didn't think he played bad. As I said, all 4 lines were contributing, and they were doing their job out there on the ice. Your 3 stars of the game, Elliott with 19 saves. He was number 1. Voracek at number 2 with a goal, and Van Riemsdyk at number 3 with a goal as well. The Flyers, they took care of their own business tonight, but they didn't really get that much help from anyone else. So the Islanders, they won 4-2 over the Rangers. The Hurricanes won 4-1 over the Jets. And as of right now, Florida was up 4-1 into the third period over Chicago. So they're taking care of their own business, but they're not getting as much help. And now they go on a 9-day break. And the next game is January 31st against Pittsburgh. I will be at that game. I'm sure I've said that a couple times. I'm very excited for that. I'm going to be doing some videos, probably going to be doing a podcast episode out there as well. So, speaking of the podcast, we have a new episode with Shawnee Hill. It was a preview of tonight's game and just a little Q&A with Shawnee as well. Those links to the podcast and everything, those are on the About section on my channel. You can also check out my articles for the Deliver Philly 4 website there, and the About page is on my YouTube as well. So, hope you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye.